What's going on, guys? Wanted to make another educational video, this time about Katana V3 and concentrated liquidity. Hopefully I can explain this as simple as possible so that if you're an LP provider, you can know if you want to migrate to V3 or stay on V2, or if you want to partake in liquidity providing for the first time, you'll know kind of what's going on and you can kind of make the choice that you like as far as your investment thesis, thoughts, and decisions. So first thing you want to do is get to Katana. So you can go app.roninchain.com, click Katana, and go to liquidity pools. Here you're going to see all the V2 pools and the V3 pools, which is what I'm just about to explain. Now, just as an overall idea, I see V2 pools as a passive DeFi participant, V3 pools as a more active DeFi participant. So if you want that set and forget method, stick to V2. If you want to try to, maximize your gains for a certain amount of time, V3 is for you. So let's use V3 pools to try to explain what concentrated liquidity is. I'm going to use the pair USDC RON because I think it'll be the easiest to explain since there's one stablecoin on one side. So in regular V2 liquidity providing, when you provide liquidity, you're actually providing liquidity for the full range of both tokens. So if RON goes to $0 or if RON goes to infinity, you will be providing liquidity the whole way around with your capital kind of spread out across the whole range. That's really cool because it's, again, that set and forget. You don't have to care about the price. You're going to be earning fees. However, it's not as capital efficient because RON may never hit $100,000, but you kind of have some capital set aside for if it reaches that range. So with concentrated liquidity, you can choose the range you want and you can kind of force all the capital to fit inside this range. So if we take right now, let's say RON can go as low as the price of $1, as high as the price of $5. That can be my decided range. So everything beyond that gets shoved in, or under that gets shoved in. Both sides get shoved in, and all my capital is concentrated in this one range. Why would I want to do this? Well, it increases my capital efficiency. I actually get 3 times as much fees as I would have if I had it spread out for this range in particular. That's really all it is. You choose a range where you want to force all your capital in, and so that when trades are happening in your range, you're getting the most bang for your buck. Now, what are the associated risks? What are the associated, problems with this? It can't just all be fine and dandy, right? I mean, for the most part, it's positive. Even if you do an extreme range of like 1 cent to $100, it will still be slightly more capital efficient than like full infinities, right? However, if you keep a very, very tight range, you're going to have really, really good capital efficiency. Let's see how tight. 15x capital efficiency. The problem is if the price goes beyond your range, you stop earning fees. So in this case, I have $1.90 at the bottom, $2.50 at the top. If RON goes to 255, I actually stop earning fees. If it drops under 190 to 185, I stop earning fees. And on top of that, the term impermanent loss, if you're familiar with it, also gets bordered, but it also gets amplified. So what do I mean by that? If the price goes below this in this RON USDC pair, if the price goes below $1.90, you actually have all your USDC converted into RON. So it's almost like you dollar cost your way all the way down under 190 and you're just all in on RON now. If RON's price goes above 250 in this case, all your RON gets sold into USDC and you're holding a bag of USDC. Now it'll go to its extremes, like all RON and all USDC, until it falls back into range, and then it'll keep, swapping between the two. So the rebalancing of the pool also gets concentrated. So you do have to be mindful of that. If it's part of your strategy or not part of your strategy, it's something to know. Now, why have concentrated liquidity besides just earning extra fees? It actually helps Katana DEX immensely. And why that is because it reduces price impact. So this RON USDC pair, it's a pretty big pair. If I wanted to buy $100,000 worth of RON right now, I would have a very little price impact, less than 1%. And that's because there's a lot of concentrated liquidity at the price right now. So this really helps for large, almost whale investors and traders to buy and sell without the worry that they're going to have crazy price impact. If we take a pool that doesn't have a lot of liquidity and that doesn't have concentrated liquidity totally set up, I did a little looking, the Bitcoin pair, as you can see, there's not a lot of Bitcoin liquidity yet on Ronin. If I was to do that same trade, I would lose about $30,000 in price impact. So this concentrated liquidity helps even smaller pools like this have more liquidity at a certain price so that we don't have to have millions and millions and millions in liquidity for people to trade efficiently, because you can kind of squeeze it at an appropriate range. So it helps the DEX, which helps traders, which can invite more applications. Now we can have bigger applications connected to Katana. If they need to quick liquidate or quick buy, they're not too worried about price impact. And that's how, DeFi can really come into Ronin, and V3 can help that. Besides that, I saw that there's a pretty cool feature for liquidity pools, and that you can actually quickly migrate your LP directly from V2 to V3. I've never seen this before, but I thought this was pretty cool, so I wanted to test it out. I put about $50, and there's the little migrate button there. And then now you can just choose your range, because right now, again, V2, it's infinite range. So even if you're doing a very safe range of like 50-cent RON to $6 RON, you're going to be more capital efficient. Sorry, I have this as USDC right now. Sorry, RON. So what did I say? 50-cent RON, $6 RON, 2 times more capital efficient. It shows you how your pool changes. And here, first I was like, wait, do I lose $6? How does that happen? No, you get it refunded. I'm guessing it's part of the algorithm to migrate over. That's probably way more complicated than I know, way above my pay grade. But then you can just quickly migrate your pool. They'll give you all the details. You click migrate, and you just switch from V2 to V3. So again, if you're a passive and you just don't even want to look at price and think about it, stick to V2. If you have an ideal range of RON and you still want to kind of maximize from the fees, then go into V3. It's really based on your investment thesis. I hope that helped clarify things. Thanks for listening. If you listened to the whole thing, if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, enjoy your day, guys. Cheers.